Let me tell you a story. There once were two young boys, very mischievous young boys. They would spend their evenings in the countryside, touring houses. They would cause general havoc. They would break pots. They would move into houses. And once they chanced upon this large, open, ripe field of corn. They spent a few minutes watching a farmer work diligently on cultivating this crop, and soon they noticed him going back to his house. So the younger of these two boys, he had a very mischievous idea to steal these boots and then watch this farmer tear his hair in vexation, in frustration. But the older of these two boys had a different idea. He wanted to hide some money in these two boots of this farmer and then see the farmer's reaction. The older boy's will prevailed. He went to the farmer's boots, he hid some money, he came back to the bushes, and he watched as the farmer came back to his boots and picked them up. As soon as the farmer saw the money, he fell to the ground. He positively crumpled to the ground. He was crying inconsolably. He was thanking God over and over again. And why? Because this farmer had been on the verge of suicide. He had been contemplating suicide that very day. And why? Because he was depressed. He was tired of his life, where he would work every day, but every day his children would go hungry. His wife would continually remain ill. And whatever he did, there was nothing he could do to solve the problem. But this money, when he found this money, he felt as though there was some unseen force behind him. Someone who was actually there to watch over him. And that gave him happiness. Pure happiness, pure bliss. The boys watched, and as they watched, tears rolled down their cheek. Conscious Chair, dear Toastmasters and my dear friends, a very warm good afternoon to each and every one of you. Today I intend to speak on something which I believe defines our very species, which makes us different and unique from animals like cows or goats or buffaloes, which is our ability to do kind things spontaneously. If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way, or in other words, the importance of random acts of charity. Today we face a very large problem because in our world we have a very wide spectrum, where on one end you have massive billionaire playboys who don't know what to do with their money, frankly. So what do? They'll set up large charitable foundations which supposedly helps the poor, but in reality it's just to show off their money. And on the other hand, you have poor people dying from desperation. You have children just like me who die each day, who have never had the same kind of facilities, the same kind of food, the same kind of schools which I have gone to. You see mothers who beat their chests every day because their families have died from starvation. And what do we think these charitable organizations do? They fly into these regions, they distribute money, all problems solved? That is not what happens. People still die. And when we think of this problem in general, we are overcome by a sense of helplessness. We don't know what to do. What can we do to solve this problem? And that is where I believe our fundamental failing is. We underestimate the power of our own will, our own contributions. To quote Oscar Wilde in this regard, charity is not throwing a bone to a dog. It's sitting down, sharing a bone with a dog when you are just as hungry as the dog. I believe this emphasizes how important our donations, how important our contributions are. Because simply ostentatiously throwing your money around poor people is not going to solve their problems. When you sit down, when you wipe a tear from their cheek, that holds infinitely more value than that. To be honest, I myself subscribed to this viewpoint quite recently. I have always thought that charity was pointless because you give them money and they still say poor. What's the point in that? But this time, as I went to India, I was caught in one of those notorious Indian traffic jams. You'll spend 1 hour in the same lane, you'll still be stuck there is no movement whatsoever. But this time there was something different. There was this truck which came and hit this young motorcyclist who was 20 years old. This guy flew into the air. He came crashing down. His head split open. There was blood all around. And our traditional Indian mentality is we crowd around him. We don't call an ambulance. We just crowd around him. We take pictures. Out of apathy, out of shock, I do not know. But the fact is that we hardly ever do anything because we don't want the problems to come after that. But as these people stood watching, there was this young beggar actually who had no legs. He was on one of those Indian carts with wheels. He was slowly pulling himself towards that body. He was trying to hoist that young man's body upon that cart and then take him somewhere where there could be something done. And that taught me very valuable lesson. That taught me how each and every one of our actions are actually very important, because this beggar, well, once he started doing that, the spectators were overcome by shame. They started trying to help this person, and like there was a huge difference made to the life of this young person. And thus, gentlemen, simply building large foundations, throwing your money around is not what constitutes a great deed. That is not what constitutes charity. Doing small, simple deeds which brings real happiness to poor people, that is what I call a great deed. Thank you.
Okay, no thank you in the end one.
Over to
okay, I just noted, yeah, that is right. I noted down.
It's almost 5:30.